Well, you know what that is. Today's closing bell at the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah, let's take a look at the numbers. The Dow Jones spent the day in the red, finishing down around 200 points. The S&P 500, NASDAQ also ended the day relatively flat. Not a lot of great news, however.
Well, Bill Watts joins us now to break this all down for us. He's a markets editor at Marketwatch. Tell us what was driving the markets today.
Yeah, well, today was kind of a dull day, and there weren't a lot of big drivers out there. I think really what we saw was sort of some consolidation after what's been a really rocky month for stocks as people took on board the shifting expectations around just how high the Fed may have to end up taking interest rates to get inflation under control.
Bill, the consumer confidence actually fell for the second straight month in February, but we were just talking to another business analyst who was saying consumers are buying more than ever. What is happening in terms of where the consumer mindset is when it comes to the question of a possible recession?
Right, and I think if you break down the numbers in the consumer confidence report, it sort of gets at that because the headline figure dropped, I believe, to a 3-month low. And if you look at the expectations gauge, there's a sub-index that that looks ahead. That was down and sort of in territory that tends to often precede recessions. When you look at where people think it will be 6 months from now, but the current conditions gauge was pretty strong, and that really tends to reflect where the jobs market is at the moment. It's very correlated to labor, and the jobs market is strong. We've got the unemployment rate at the lowest level since 1969. So that sort of kind of gets at people are feeling good about where they are right now, but they're worried about the future and worried about the possibility of a recession down the road.
Bill, and just to follow up on what you were talking about, jobs, President Biden is expected to nominate Julie Su to be the next labor secretary. As you said, the labor market has been very, very strong for the past few months. What would be the first steps should Su be confirmed?
Well, just in terms of, the unemployment or things like that, I don't know that the market tends to put a lot of weight on the labor secretary, but just in terms of, overall economic or financial stability, there are some, things to think about there. And I think one of the things is that Sue was very involved in the negotiations around averting the railroad strike last year. And we had a railroad strike that would have been very disruptive. So I think, people might be a little more confident about, keeping things like that on track, just with, that continuity around that appointment.
Well, Bill Watts, really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. Thanks.
No, my pleasure.